Ask just about anyone what it takes to become rich, and the answer you'll get is hard work. Well, this simply isn't true, which is why in this video I will share with you 5 reasons why working hard won't make you rich. And if you're new to the channel, then hit the subscribe button below for more life-changing content. Reason number 1. Hardworking people make money through manual effort. Up until the last century, physical strength was one of the most important aspects a person could possess. Being strong and durable made you a valuable asset in times of war, in hunting, farming, or any other manual labor profession. Because of how valuable this trait was in society, parents would bestow the importance of physical strength on their children. This sharing of past wisdom is why numerous people still believe that in order to become rich, you must work hard. However, the world has changed a lot, and having physical strength isn't as important as it once was. We no longer have to fight every day for our survival, nor do we need to be hunters or use physical strength for farming. Instead, we need innovations and improvements, and that's what we're willing to pay for. The problem with the people who have physical strength is that they are likely to believe that they have something very significant, especially if they grow up in an environment where they were praised for hard labor. Because these people think they have strong bones, they are much less likely to pay attention to their brains. A hardworking person simply believes he can work his way into success, but that's not true. In fact, year after year, the need for heavy work in the workforce continues to decline. As of 2017, only 13.7% of jobs require heavy work, with sedentary jobs like the typical 9-to-5 desk job becoming increasingly prevalent. Sadly, the value of manual strength will only further decline with additional advancements in technology, one of which being the integration of automation in manufacturing. A new report predicts that by 2030, as many as 800 million jobs could be lost worldwide due to automation. In fact, a 2017 study performed by McKinsey Global Institute says that advances in AI and robotics will have a drastic effect on manual occupations, which in the United States alone could see anywhere between 39 and 73 million jobs being lost to automation. In short, the era of using physical strength to earn a living is behind us. We are now in the era of the brain. It no longer matters how hard you can work, but how hard you can think. Consider this. WhatsApp is a mobile application created in 2009 by Brian Acton and Jan Koum, and was sold to Facebook in 2014 for $19 billion. YouTube was a platform created by Chad Hurley, Stephen Chen, and Jawed Karim in the year 2005 and sold for $1.65 billion. The truth is that no amount of manual effort you put forth will allow you to earn these kinds of returns, so stop depending so much on your physical strengths. Instead, start building and depending on your mental strengths. The world has changed. It's no longer about bones. It's all about brains. Reason number 2. Hardworking people sell a very limited resource. Whether you realize it or not, just about everyone you know is trading a very limited resource of theirs for money. This resource is time. While I love my parents dearly, they spent their entire careers trading time for money, and I can tell you that doing this did not make them rich. In fact, trading time for money makes very few people wealthy, which is why 78% of American adults live paycheck to paycheck. What makes this statistic even worse is that most people trading time for money dislike the job that is taking up that time. A recent Gallup poll found that only 34% of employees are actively engaged, meaning that a significant amount of workers are not satisfied with their jobs. So even though people won't get rich, nor do they like being at work, they still employ what I think is the worst strategy for making money. In fact, I believe that the realization that trading time for money will never make you rich is the key differentiator between the rich and the poor. You see, the rich don't sell their time. Instead, they sell value. Selling value is a much better strategy for making money because it's much easier to duplicate and disperse than time. Take the example of Bill Gates and the personal computer. As computer technology progressed, more and more people wanted to have computers in their homes. Through Microsoft, Gates was able to engineer a personal computer and sell these computers to millions of people. In short, he distributed value to millions of computer users. This same money-making strategy was used when Steve Jobs created the iPhone. In 2018 alone, Apple sold more than 217 million phones, making the company billions of dollars. No single employee could ever work the amount of hours needed to create this significant amount of value, which is why trading time for money will never make you rich. In short, You can't duplicate your time because each and every day only has 24 hours. So if you're selling your time for money, then you will never be rich, no matter how hard you work. So what's the solution? Exchanging value for money instead, and the wider you can disperse this value, as we've seen in the examples of Microsoft and Apple, the more money you will make. Reason number 3, hard work prevents you from thinking. As I said earlier in this video, we now live in a world where brains are valued over bronze, and the more you can develop your brain, the better off you will be. American entrepreneur and motivational speaker Jim Rohn once said, "Work harder on yourself than you work on your job." The problem with working hard by trading time for money is that it leaves you with little time for self-development. For instance, if you're working 2 jobs and using the rest of your day to sleep, where do you fit in time to increase your knowledge through reading, mentoring, or taking courses? What many people don't realize is that they are unconsciously taking on more busy work in order to avoid having to think, but this is a one-way ticket to being broke. But why do people do this? Well, it's because thinking is in fact hard. Henry Ford, the founder of Ford Motors, was quoted as saying, "Thinking is the hardest work there is, and that's why only a few people do it." What I want you to take from this point is that your job shouldn't be your hardest work. Self-development and thinking should be. Now, while I have said for the large part of this video that you shouldn't work hard, what I mean, and what I'm sure you've come to realize, is that you should be working hard, but only on the right things. Work hard to improve your mind. The process of developing your mind is never over, no matter how rich you become. Even with a net worth of over $80 billion, Warren Buffett still reads 5 hours a day, consuming multiple newspapers and 500 pages worth of corporate reports. This daily routine allows Buffett to continuously raise his financial awareness, which we'll discuss further in reason number 4. Reason number 4, hard work stops you from raising your financial IQ. If you've read anything written by Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki, you'll know that he preaches the use of assets to build wealth and discounts the economic value of being an employee. One of his most famous quotes said, "The problem with the job is that it keeps you from getting rich." The interesting part about this quote is that he isn't referring to the actual pay. In fact, there are a lot of people making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year at their job. The reason that a job keeps you from getting rich is that it doesn't grant you the time you need to obtain a financial education. Take the example of a prototypical CEO. Sure, he or she is probably earning a couple $100,000 a year, but they are glued to their work every second of the day. Even if they were to find some free time in their busy schedule, they would likely be too tired to take on a mentally intensive task like reading a complex financial report or actively working through a finance course. The sad truth is that the saying, "the more you learn, the more you earn," is true. And the less you know about money, the poorer you'll be. Essentially, your financial IQ determines how rich you will be. You're as rich as how much you know about money. You want more money? Increase your financial IQ. I suggest reading or listening to audiobooks about money for 30 minutes every day for the next year and just see what happens. Reason number 5, you can't build wealth with 2 hands. Just a few months after starting my career, I learned the single most important concept involved in becoming rich. Back when I was working as an analyst at a management consulting firm, I would see the managing partner parking his expensive sports car. While I was envious of the cars he drove, I was actually more interested in how he could have amassed the wealth to be able to buy such an expensive vehicle. Then, one day I was walking through the halls of my office when it hit me. The managing partner had hundreds of employees working under him, billing out thousands of dollars to our clients every single day, while he sat in his office and strategized new opportunities for the business. What I realized on that day was that the most important thing every rich person knows about money is that the key to unlocking wealth is through the use of leverage. You see, not a single employee at my firm was rich, and this was because they only worked with their own 2 hands. On the flip side, the partner had amassed a ridiculous amount of wealth by leveraging all of our hands, hence him being able to drive such a fancy vehicle. To drive home this point, let's use an example to illustrate just how powerful leverage can be. Let's say you're the only employee in your business and work 8 hours a day, billing your clients $100 an hour. In 8 hours, you would generate $800 in revenue. But if you took that same situation and added in the fact that you have 5 employees who each cost you $200 a day and bill the same $800 that you do, then all of a sudden you are realizing $600 in profits per employee for an extra $3,000 in revenue. These earnings only multiply as you hire more and more people. Unfortunately, there are many employees who want to be rich and are perpetually frustrated with how little money they make at their job, no matter how hard they work. They get upset that their salaries are so low, but as you can understand, the more an employer pays an employee, the less they have for themselves. This situation is why most employees think capitalism is bad and that all employers are evil, but in reality, they're just going about making money the wrong way. What I hope you take from this video is that performing hard work blindly will not make you rich. As a single person, you cannot exchange enough time to make you rich, and by trying, you are limiting your ability to consume the knowledge you need to raise your financial IQ and devise new strategies, like using leverage, that can make you rich. In short, continue to work hard, but only on things that will actually move the needle on building your dream rich lifestyle. Hey, it looks like YouTube thinks this next video is the one that will change your financial life forever. Give it a watch and let's see if they're right.